Need link building or content? Go to fatjoe.com. On-demand marketing services for agencies and teams. Fat Joe.
So, hello. Normally, I'm incredibly stressed and my hands shake, and I tend to use an octopus hand puppet. It hides the tremors. It's interesting. I'm gonna try something new and use it maybe later and be a bit more courageous today. So, let's go. I have ADHD. If you speak to me about 2 minutes, you will be able to tell. It's so obvious that I was diagnosed rather early on, which is unusual for people who look like me. So when you have ADHD, your brain is like a Ferrari engine, but you have bicycle brakes. So it's an interesting combination, and it's very, very complicated for me to explain to people that my brain is pretty much being driven by a duck on a tricycle, and also it's on meth. But thanks to TikTok, it's an aesthetic now. We're cool. So the problem with this is ADHD is really, really funny. You get diagnosed with lazy fuck-up disease. And by the way, it's incurable, but here's meth again, and that will fix it. So some of us discover that we may have ADHD when we are young adults and pay for drugs, and we realize that everyone around us is running around being, intense, and you finally get to calm down. Like, I paid to calm down. Cool. Here's a mind map of a random day. This genuinely happened a few months ago. I started with the medieval memes. When I say medieval memes, very specific, hot medieval gossip superimposed on medieval art. Niche. High quality. Then I discovered there's plague doctor costumes, not just for Halloween, for the internet. And then, of course, I had to know about the German tutu death. Please feel free to ask me about it. There is an article, it's tied to an SEO agency, by the way, where the death section is larger than the entire article, because it's that good. Moved on to image SEO rabbit hole. So, if you're interested in that, that's an entirely different talk. I can point you to it. My friend Lizzie ate an entire roasted cauliflower, and at this point, most of my ADHD friends will stop and look at this slide and go, "You can do that?" And I tell them, "Yes, you can." I know, because I asked myself that question before acquiring said cauliflower and trying it for a day. And I realized that to prepare it properly, you're supposed to use French gray salt, sel gris. Why? I don't know. I still don't know. I'm French. I don't know. But cauliflower was good. And then it ended with, today I learned people with penises have an average of 11 erections per day. I'm not sure. I just don't want this to be my rabbit hole. I don't want to hyper-focus on this. So if anybody has information, please feel free to talk to them about it. So what can help my brain not do the slide I took you through? Because it sounds fun, right? It never stops for me, though. And if you're next to me, it's never going to stop for you either. So meditation helps. It helps with impulsivity, executive function, a thing that is very rare for me, focus, attention, emotional regulation. Cool. I can never sit still enough to actually meditate, so I found a solution. One of my bosses told me about this, so.
Sit or lie comfortably, quietly. Allow yourself to be here, fully, in this moment. With your eyes closed, begin to connect with your inner world of thought and feeling. Gradually, let the horseshit of the external world fade from your awareness. If you find your mind wandering to other thoughts, don't let it concern you. Just acknowledge that all that shit is fucking bullshit. You're here now, in this place, with your inner stillness. Those bitches can't get under your skin. They can't even. Take in a deep breath. Now breathe out. Just feel the fucking nonsense float away. Take full, deep breaths. Breathe in strength. Breathe out bullshit. Allow.
So, this actually did get me started meditating. Do you feel a bit better? Because I do. I really do. And what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I may be wired differently, but there's some points where we're going to meet halfway. So what does ADHD mean for me as an SEO? Because it's the thing where you get told, hey, you're not going to have a job. Good luck with that. Nobody can put up with you. Or very often I will be told, yeah, the H is very obvious with you. And as time goes on, I'm like, you know what? I'm laughing all the way to the bank. I don't care. I get paid for this now. So every ADHD trait has a positive aspect. I don't really believe this, but a doctor said so, like a psychiatrist, okay? So you have to ask yourself, do you recognize yourself in this situation? Are you the type of ADHD who's super anxious because your brain won't let you go and it keeps telling you you should be ready, so 3 months in advance you have planned everything out? You will find a way to fuck it up, don't worry, you know yourself. But you can also become the ADHD who has procrastinated until, you know, you're so good at improvising because that's all you've got. I am both. This was prepared heavily in advance. Everything else stressed me out. Everything went wrong. But I am super adaptive and I can go from ideation to implementation in the blink of an eye because that's how my brain works. Okay? I will have moments or strokes of genius, and I get paid for those. The problem is that I don't know when they happen. I don't know why they happen. They never happen for the thing you think you're hiring me for, okay? But if I harness them, I can do a lot of good for a team. And I'm not the only one. I'm pretty sure many of you in the room are the same. ADHD helps me connect the dots in very unconventional but valuable, monetizable ways. Here's why. My perspective is completely different, okay? The way I think about problems is very different. I will hyper-focus on specific things and then connect them to things that have nothing to do with the rest. And if you put elements like this together, if you look at how things fit into each other, step by step by step, and then you add them together, that's a whole new starting point. I can't come from the same point of view that you have. So you have to take this for granted. I will never follow your lead because I'm off in La La Land, but we may meet halfway. And like I said, I can connect many different things because to me, if I get bored, it's painful. I'm like a junkie looking for my next dopamine fix. So I will hyper-focus on things. They bring me joy. So if you can actually have somebody and watch them get hyper-focused on something, you will see how joyous it can be, but also how it overtakes everything. Because it's an amazing but elusive ability to concentrate on a task, tune out distractions, and get things done. Sometimes I have people who will try to interrupt me, but I'm so hyper-focused, I don't even notice them. Or I will just look at them and go, I didn't pay attention. I will get back to you because right now, no. No, right now it's magic hour. You are not part of magic hour. And I hyper-focus on problem solving. So that's great for SEO. Why? We always have new problems. We always have new websites, new clients, new everything. I like to know why there's a problem. I like to understand it. I like to understand the causes. I like to think about how I could fix it. And the way I fix it is not necessarily the way you would fix it. So the downside is I'm having like an eat, pray, love moment. Julia Roberts, but for like medieval pirates, for how nuclear anything can kill you and how to survive. I'm not the only one who went down that rabbit hole, by the way. Huh? So I like this meme, super fun. The truth is, I also do intermittent fasting because for real, that's how it works. I haven't had to tweak much in my life to accomplish this. So if you want this figure, ADHD is the key. I crave novelty, and when I mean novelty, I mean novelty. So when I got started in my career as an SEO, I became the friend, the peer, the colleague people would turn to because they're like, well, this person, they're always up to date. They always know stuff. Yeah, I have this compulsion to be up to date. It's not FOMO, it's like a deep need to be informed if something changes because I have to update my database. But I also go down many, many rabbit holes because you start with this one thing and you're like, hey, I thought about this other thing, and then this happens, and then you're like, huh. So I became an image SEO expert, basically. Okay, cool. And I became an expert at many things in SEO over the years. So that brings value. When you hire me as a consultant, what you're hiring is the sum of everything that I know. And this is powered by my brain wiring. I have this inborn curiosity and the matching serendipity to research many, many, many topics. So if you're not really into these words or rom-coms where they use these words, what I'm trying to say is I will always want to know more. It's a compulsion. I have to find my next interest. But the job I chose allows me to. Every new website that I get, I'm like, what's going on here? And then you're like, oh, now I know for the next one. And the next one comes along and you think you're handling it and there's a new rabbit hole waiting for you. And because of that, I know all about regular expressions and I'm here to start a fight because regex, if you are saying regex, you are a regular person, I guess. I'm seeing some nods. I'm obsessed with internal search bars. That's like my special little kink in SEO because it's not SEO. Technically it is. You see where I'm going with this? Okay. So you can also ask me all about image compression, like all of it. I like all of it, and I will info dump. It's a thing that we do when we're excited about a topic. I will tell you all about it. Once again, found a way to monetize this. Training. I get bored incredibly fast. And this means, on the plus side, I know how to keep things dynamic. I don't want you bored because I know the pain. I understand this, okay? It's a physical discomfort for me. So how does it work at work when you have ADHD? Normally it doesn't because you're asked to fill out timesheets. You're supposed to time block your time. You're supposed to be organized. And you do the work. You do get organized, and then you look at all the pile of organization and you're like, I wish, but my brain is telling me to go off somewhere else. I can't. So the plus side is I write fun emails, not too long, not too short, Goldilocks, because I know what I want to get, not a huge email or one that doesn't make sense. I'm known to be a dynamic trainer because once again, if you're not having fun, are you really learning? Not really. Or you will, but then you'll forget it maybe 2 days later. And my brain burps make clients laugh. Sometimes I will connect things to other things that should not be connected. And I used to be afraid of that until I got told, hey, this helps sell more contracts, so go for it. Very well, it has sustained me for almost 9 years now. Here are some things that you can do. Here are some things that I do to keep on track, because if you can be interested by everything, it means you get nothing done. So don't ask me to make lists. My brain does not care. I make lists of lists of lists, okay? I have like meta notebooks that will point to other lists. ADHD folks tend to overanalyze everything, okay? So this will create a lot of anxiety for me. This is genuinely what my brain looks at, so let me sum it up. My dog is going to look at me, I'm going to look at the dog. Did I feed the dog? Does she need to be fed? Is she going to enjoy her new food? Where is the old food? Did we run out of food? Oh, I need to clean the bowl. No, we're getting a new plate. What kind of plate do you want, dog? Wait, did I feed the dog? Should I feed the dog? She wants to be fed, and it just loops. It just loops. Imagine every single task that I do, it's this. So here's my user manual. No meetings on Mondays or Fridays. Mondays, I unclog my inbox, okay? I try to figure out what I forgot already because I'm not interested in those tasks. And Fridays, I schedule more downtime, more fun meetings where we can actually feel like we're making headway to like unfuck a problem instead of being billable. Brain dumps and prioritization. So I will empty my entire mind in a notebook to get rid of the anxiety. And then I look at it, I'm like, oh, I can prioritize. Why am I so stressed about this thing that I have to do in 3 months? It can wait. And I write it like, please stop annoying me about this. Notes to myself, but it kind of works. I ask people to send me little videos, and I send them little videos. Instead of saying, we have identified that the problem happens, let me show you the problem. You can show it to someone else instead of emailing me again. We are good. And clients that send me really long emails, send me a video. At least I can speed it up. This makes me happy. And I will always have tea going, and I will always forget it in a room and start it over again. And then I pick up all the mugs at some point, maybe. So interrupt me for the love of Xenu, because it never stops. That hamster wheel keeps on going. I can talk nonstop. I don't think it's rude to interrupt me. It helps. I'm like, oh, finally, guidance. I adapt to this unique brain wiring. That's my deal. You shouldn't have to, okay? I don't like it when people, but they have ADHD, so you, no, we are supposed to work together, okay? So I love no nonsense communication. Get to the point. I don't like it when people start a meeting with me to gently coax me into whatever they need me to do, because the really annoying thing they may want me to do is often less dramatic or worse than whatever my mind will come up with in the 3 minutes you take to just like pit that around the problem. No, be direct. Or sometimes I'm not going to be able to tell if you're being nice to me or mean to me. I will ask you, like, hey, can you make this more direct, because I don't know where we're going with this. I will zone out if bored, even if I'm the one talking. This means that I often don't finish my sentences, anything that I start, because like, ooh, shiny. And it drives some people up the wall. So please be patient. That doesn't mean you should adapt to this. You should go, can you please finish the sentence? I'm like, oh no, it wasn't worth it. Let's move on. This works. I use headphones or loops. These are things that you can put in your ears to tune out some of the gray noise that you have, or the background going on at Brighton right now. It's overwhelming for me. So don't hesitate to use loops. Repetitive music and ADHD playlists get me in the zone. Find that one playlist that works for you. For me, it's like a shortcut to hyperfocus. I can get stuff done. How can you be a good ally? Be patient. I have told many people in the past few days, you will have to repeat the sentence you just said. Like, you're not even done with it, but you will have to repeat it. I'm sorry. Right after, cue it up. Format your documents, please. I'm not going to pay attention. You can't pay me enough to pay attention, okay? It hurts. Understand how we work. Now you have a user manual. It's not everybody's manual, but it gives you an idea. And very often I get told I'm too much, but very often I also feel like I'm too much. Let's be honest, I kind of am. But it causes issues in my brain. I'm not the only one. You can look up RSD. It's rejection sensory dysphoria. I always think that everyone hates me. It's a really fun situation. So tell me when something isn't right, because otherwise I will have a meltdown trying to figure it out for myself. And I'm really good at that, sadly. So here's a recap, because I'm probably going to forget. You may not. Number one, no lists, please. If I had $1, a pound, a euro for every time I'm told, but have you tried making a list? Really? Yeah, I have. Hyperfocus is amazing to zero in on SEO problems. It's not good if you need like an overall 15-minute audit of something. That's not where we thrive. But if you need someone to find the problem, look for one of us. Be an ally. Format communications accordingly. So bullet points are awesome. I love like a good H1, H2, H3. Bring that in the email. I don't care. That makes me happy. I can understand it. I can scan it. Out of sight, out of mind. Remind me, because I will forget. I will forget. That is the one constant. I will forget. And then I'll remember, in the shower when I already missed that deadline. Positive feedback goes a long way. I love receiving high fives going, hey, this is good. Because then I can tell my brain, fuck off, they said it was good. We're good, okay? And that's about it, I think. Yeah, that's that.
Need link building or content? Go to fatjoe.com. On-demand marketing services for agencies and teams. Fat Joe.